Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Could we be about to see two new faces at Arsenal this week? It's already Wednesday, but it's looking very possible that we will get at least two new players before the end of the week. One of them is Kai Havertz and the other one is Jurrien Timber. So what's the latest on both of them? So according to Fabrizio Romano on Kai Havertz, Arsenal are closing in on Kai Havertz deal as final agreement to Chelsea is imminent. Package will be worth 65 million as expected. Always been indicated as the right fit to make it happen. Sources feel it will be done and sealed this week. Personal terms agreed last week. So we already told that he wants to join Arsenal last week. Chelsea initially wanted 75 million. We all agreed as a fan base that 75 million is way too much money. And I think the negotiators and Edu and everyone else agree that that is too much money for Kai Havertz, especially after off a back of a terrible season at Chelsea and a terrible team basically last season, and he did not perform at all in terms of missing chances and all that. He was not good for them last season. So we agreed that 75 million was going to be too much money. But 65 million, I still thought it was a lot of money. I would have paid like 50 million for him. But now that we've been told about the structure of how the payments are going to be distributed and everything, I think I'm going to go with it. I think I'm going to go with it. Yes, it's not as exciting as probably signing Rice or Caicedo, but since they wanted him, it's always good to get that fast signing through the door. Because after a couple of days, fans become very impatient, and when you start seeing other teams signing players, and then your team has not signed any player, you've been linked to like 4 or 5 players, and then one of them you've pulled out of, like I said, a deal, and then you probably hear this one has gone to this team. It would get you a bit wide about the plan and everything. But for Kai Havertz, it's looking very, very likely that he will be completing his Arsenal move. Medical has already been scheduled according to Oli. Kai Havertz to Arsenal is 90% done. The deal is in the final stages. It is my understanding that Kai Havertz will be at London Colney late today or early tomorrow to complete the medical. Also, Jurrien Timber is a lot more advanced than people realize. So he was playing a friendly match yesterday for Germany up against Colombia. They lost that game 2-0. So I guess he's already traveled back to England and London to finalize the deal, and then he can go out on his holidays after that. Very interesting. This is a very interesting deal. This one came out of nowhere. I don't think at the end of the season, if you're to ask any Arsenal fan, do you want Kai Havertz? I don't think anyone would have said yes. And even if you're to ask anyone, do you think Arsenal would go for, like, let's say 5 Chelsea players that you'd go for? I don't think many people would have probably even mentioned Kai Havertz, because I personally thought we were okay in the number 10 role. We just needed like other midfielders, central midfielders, defensive midfielders, maybe a backup for Saka, maybe a backup for Saliba. But it's always good to have numbers. Last season, Fabio Vieira struggled, so right now all of a sudden you have an extra option to use in those kind of roles. A player who can play in 5, 6 different positions. If it works out for us, this will be a major coup, and we also get to banter Chelsea and tell them you only played poorly because you're playing with very poor players and poor managers and in a poor stadium and all that. So we get to banter them. So hopefully it's the ground running. It's an expensive deal, 210,000 per week of our wage structure as well, or in our wage structure now. So this will be an interesting one. But Kai Havertz, 65 million agreement. In terms of how we are going to pay it, it's going to be 50 million in 3 installments, and then an extra 50 million in 15 million in add-ons, which will take the total to 65 million. So we don't know how much you're going to pay upfront right now. I have a feeling it could be like 30 million and then 10 million next year maybe, or next season, and then another 10 million after that. Or it could be 40 million, then 5 million. You never know. I'll probably get to hear about it later on. But however the deal is structured, Atita wanted the player. I'm guessing it's him who wanted the player. Unless if it's not him, it would be weird. But I'm guessing it's him who wants the player. They've seen something in him, as we've been told. Him and Edu have seen something in him, and he would fit into the Arsenal system. So that will be interesting, because Chelsea fans are laughing at this deal, and Arsenal fans are not quite excited a bit about this deal. So we've seen it before. We've seen it happening with the likes of Ben White. We've seen it happening with the likes of Odegaard and Ramsdale. Not many Arsenal fans were happy with those deals, but right now the likes of Ramsdale, Ben White, every time they take to the pitch, we are happy and excited to see how they perform. So let's hope it's the same thing as Havertz. Hopefully he's the ground running right away. And to get this deal done, right now it means he will be available from the first preseason game, which is good for planning and everything. So Kai Havertz deal agreed, 65 million, medical to be done today or tomorrow. Let's see how that one develops. Looking increasingly likely that he will be our first signing. But who will be our second signing? It's looking increasingly likely again that it will be Jurrien Timber. It came out of nowhere, but it's overtaken all the other deals. According to Platigol, Arsenal and Ajax are negotiating for Jurrien Timber, and a deal is expected to be agreed for around 40 to 45 million euros, which is great. That is great. I think it's actually worth that. So getting him for that kind of money is perfect. The player wants to play for Arsenal, and the move has been worked on for weeks. Manchester United no topic in this race, according to Play2Girl. So we are the only team going for him at the moment. He fits into our system perfectly. We already talked about him yesterday. The way he will be able to play as a right back, as a centre back, push the ball into midfield, passing abilities, great technical abilities, great. Definitely fits our age bracket as well. The kind of players we are signing in terms of age bracket. So 100% excited about this deal. And again, to addition on that, 40 to 45 million for him. Perfect. They wanted around 50 million, so we've negotiated that down to 5 million less or 10 million less. And again, this could also be in terms of add-ons for later. It could be like 30 million and then 15 million add-ons later. I don't know how they're going to structure their deals, but we are moving a lot to those add-ons. A lot of teams are asking for those add-ons, and a lot of teams are paying add-ons these days. It was never really the case back in the day. It was like if you're paying 15 million, it's 50 million done. If you're signing a Xavi, it was like 10, 15 million done. If you're signing Nasri, this amount done. It was never really about add-ons or anything, but these days, because of how crazy the market has become, many teams cannot afford most of these players. So also it helps in terms of receiving money later on, like an Ajax next, and they'll know like, oh, you're guaranteed a 10 million from Arsenal, something like that, which will help in this kind of transfers. So it also helps in terms of that. So 45 million for Jurrien Timber, it could be our second signing following our Havertz deal this week. Jurrien Timber, I'm definitely excited with. I'm definitely excited with that one. I wouldn't have signed a centre back right away. I would have waited for later in the transfer market. But when a centre back like this one becomes available, a centre back who can play as a right back and is technically gifted and he can help us build from the back the way we play our football. You cannot let this kind of options go away. And we saw last season, the moment Saliba went out and the moment Tomiyasu went out, we fell apart defensively. We were conceding 3 goals at home 2-3 times against the likes of Brighton, the likes of Southampton. We could not keep a clean sheet at all. I think like the last 10 games, we keep like 1 clean sheet or something, and that was in the last game against Wolves when Wolves already looking forward to their holidays, and even for us, we had already given up on this season. Obviously, we had already Manchester had already won the title, so that is a signing that we needed. So that if Saliba is not there, Timber is there. If Timber is not there, Saliba is there. Ben White is there. Gabriel is there. Zinchenko is there as well. Tomiyasu is there. And I'm also hearing Tierney could end up staying. And if Tierney stays, I'd be very, very happy. Like if he actually agrees on staying, that covers our left back position, and we know that we have 2 different kind of players on that side, and that would definitely help having both of them staying at Arsenal. So that's the latest on Kai Havertz and also Jurrien Timber. Looking likely like we are going to pay that 110 million deal this week, get both of those deals done, and hopefully we hear a breakthrough in terms of the Rice deal and also the latest on Romeo Lavia. But I think Romeo Lavia will probably be the last deal to be done amongst these ones. But exciting times. I was 100% sure that a deal will be done this week. It's not yet done yet, but I'm sure we're going to get a deal done, at least one or maybe even both. Who says no? I'm definitely going to be happy that if we can get at least 2 deals done, see some new Arsenal, some new faces at Arsenal, and then we can turn our focus to other players. Because right now, talking to 4 or 5 players at the same time, it becomes difficult, and you're giving other teams margin for getting to talk to these players that you're targeting. So Havertz, Timber will become Arsenal players very, very soon. Hopefully, it's sooner than later. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about that. Hit the like button, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.